Hello students, I am Dr. Tanmay Vishwas. I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to discuss Roskamp reaction, and this reaction reaction between the diazoacetate and aldehyde and which will ultimately result a 1,3-dicarbonyl compound. More specifically say an ester 1,3-dicarbonyl ester derivative. Okay, beta ketoester you may consider. And today we will focus mainly the basic idea of this reaction, mechanism, role of Lewis acid, aldehyde, and reaction condition like temperature, and finally I will give you one example. Very short way I shall explain the whole thing. So a lot of chemistry to be learned in this video, so I request you please watch the video until the end with complete attention and cool mind. Okay, so let's start. By the way, before going to details, I want to request you, I have already uploaded a dedicated lecture on Buchner-Curtius-Soderbeck reaction, which is the basic concept of such kind of reactivity, and in this case I shall say this is an extension of that work which is the actual thing. So please visit that lecture first, after that you come here, then it will be easier for you as well as your understudy will be complete. Okay, so now because it is a special case, so lots of exceptional thing will not be able to visualize from this video. So what happens? So these two reacts and proceeds. By the way, if you look, this is actually it's a very interesting diazo compound, ethyl diazoacetate. It has an interesting property. It is relatively more stable compared to the corresponding ethyl, means diazomethane, and its boiling point is more compared to that thing. Why? See, this negative charge and positive charge, this is the general thing of diazomethane. So what happens? It has a canonical form, means this negative charge is delocalized with this. Like enolate stabilization you may consider. Okay, I've already discussed such kind of enolate stabilization in videos like aldol. Please visit. Fine. And not only that, you may consider that this is a 1,3-dicarbonyl type, 1 carbonyl, and this is actually this. Okay, so this is a fairly stable. So the question is, if it is fairly stable, then its reactivity is low. So if it is stable, then reactivity is low. Fine, it is true. Now question, but one of the important point or aspects of this reaction is the mildness of this reaction. Okay, how the mildness of reaction condition. So how this thing is achieved? First of all, see, this is actually a aldehyde. Remember, this is aldehyde. Okay, so one part is hydrogen. Fine. So less bulky. Now what happens? These get attacked. So in this case, one phenomena appears, that is, means nucleophilic addition to carbonyl group is governed by one theory named Burgi-Dunich trajectory or Burgi-Dunich trajectory. Okay, so please visit if you don't know Burgi Dunich, D-U-N-I-T-Z trajectory. Okay, I have explained in a dedicated lecture. Please visit for better understanding. Let me give you a brief idea. See, this is a nucleophile. It is attacking here around 107-degree angle, and the bulkness of these two substituents of aldehyde is responsible for the reactivity part. Okay, this much. Now, so if one part is aldehyde, what happens? This have plus aldehyde hydrogen would have any plus I effect, and second, bulkness is low, so reactivity is higher. Like why aldehyde is more active for nucleophilic addition. Fine. So this is point number one. Second, Lewis acid is used, and Lewis, what is the advantage of Lewis acid? See, Lewis acid means it form adapt with carbonyl group. We know, for example, BF3, tin chloride, germanium chloride. So in this case, as I told, this tin chloride, so you may consider SN2 plus. Okay, so in this case, okay, you may confuse that why it's an organic medium, why it will ionize. Fine, this is. So now formal positive charge comes here, so this became more active. Okay, so why this reaction happened? Generally low temperature like minus 78 or 0 degrees centigrade reaction happens. Why? First of all, aldehyde. Second thing, Lewis acid. Okay, so that's why this reaction is favored. Now what is the advantage of doing such kind of reaction at low temperature? Means what was the previous drawback of that Soderbeck-Curtius-Soderbeck reaction? So in that reaction, relatively slight higher reaction means drastic condition needed. And see, this diazomethane after reaction produces nitrogen gas. So it can come out or release violently, and that may result in a lots of explosion. And remember, diazomethane is a very good reagent, but the biggest disadvantage of diazomethane is associated with this explosive nature. Okay, so fine, we have understood this. So at first stage, what it produces? At first stage, it produces R O minus. This is H. This is carbon. This is actually this N2 plus. Another thing. This is CO2 ET. Fine. Now question: what happens in the next? Now see. This is actually a very good leaving group. Why? Very good leaving group. Why? Because N2 is a gas molecule. Another thing, nitrogen triple bond is a very stable, and this thing you have observed previously in the case of Haber process. See, question: why Haber process is so much difficult? Why ammonia preparation is so much difficult? This is because in case of this nitrogen to by ammonia, then what you are breaking? You are breaking 3 sigma bonds. Those are very energy consuming. That's why it was very difficult to convert this nitrogen into ammonia. And the same thing, so if something is very stable, so tendency of that thing to be produced during a reaction is higher. Obviously that thing happened. That is also the reason why diazomethane explodes violently, because nitrogen preparation is highly favored, so it can produce anyhow, and ultimately during the process it results in explosion. So what happens in this case? In this case, it pushes this intermediate, and which will migrate, R or H. Aldehyde means one part is H fixed. Either you can take aliphatic, for example, you can take acetaldehyde CH3, or you can take aromatic like benzene. So whatever the thing, hydrogen have the maximum migratory aptitude. Okay, so this, and ultimately it will leave. I haven't showed here. In this case, this CC bond rotation allowed, so this nitrogen could be opposite also, such that sigma star overlap get better. Means, what do I mean? If you don't get, please don't get confused. What do I mean? That you may consider that, sir. Now, I guess it is fine. So it will go. So in this way, nitrogen elimination will occur. So in this case, what it resulted? It resulted this carbonyl here R C double bond O CH2. See, sorry, I forgot to mention, there was one hydrogen previously, now one hydrogen migrated, so ultimately CH2 plus OET plus hydrogen. So this is the overall mechanism. Now we have discussed the basic idea, mechanism, role of Lewis acid, aldehyde and diazo derivative. Okay, fine. Now let's discuss a little bit about other diazo substituents. Not only this, some other diazo substituents like if you take the sulfonate derivative, means this diazonium derivative, paratoluene, this CH minus C, functional groups are similar. This, or you can take phosphine oxide. This is oxide, this is CH minus. See, in both cases, one thing is common, that the negative charge on this carbon is adjacent to some electron withdrawing group, and this creates the stabilization of the diazoalkane, and sometimes it's liquid or even solid and easy to handle, less explosive, so do the reaction. So if it is less easy to handle, less explosive, means less reactive, and how this could be activated based on this strategy, Lewis acid aldehyde, so in this way. Fine. So these are also, these react in this reaction. Now question, what is the benefit of this compound? So actually this is called beta keto ester. Why this compound is important? See, this is actually 1,3-dicarbonyl compound, or you can say this is actually active methylene group. It also have another name, active methylene group. Why active methylene? Because this CH2, this CH2 is in between two carbonyl. So consequently what happened? This is significantly acidic because the corresponding carbon ion CH minus is resonance stabilized by both carbonyl group. Okay, and that's why this is a mild as well as very good nucleophile, and its pK near about 10-11 like that. And another thing, you can take any alkyl halide or any Rx living group and it can attack in this way by, what do I mean? SN2 type process, and ultimately result let's consider this is R1. So it will result R C double bond O CH R1 COOET. Now this is not the end. If you don't want this CO2 ET part, you can hydrolyze it in presence of KOH and heat. So what will happen? At first it will result in RCOO CHR1 CO2H, and then it undergo facile facile decarboxylation to produce the final ketone CH2. And by the way, I have already uploaded a dedicated lecture on decarboxylation of beta keto acid. So that is through a 6-member transition state. Please visit for your better understanding. So this is the overall chemistry, why it is important. Now let me give you a real example. Okay student, just look at this example. See, this is a diazoacetate derivative, fine. And in presence of benzaldehyde, this is actually propionaldehyde, and this is one boron cap. Actually this is means in this way, but this part contains asymmetric center. I am not going to those big confusion. Asymmetric center. Okay, so what happens in this way? That's why you get this a particular enantiomer with a significantly high enantiomeric excess. But so that thing we find. But look at one thing. First of all, this is aldehyde. Look at the temperature, 95 degree, minus 95 degrees centigrade. How low temperature is? What a low temperature this reaction happens facile, because this gas is eliminated, and ultimately result a stereoselectivity at this position. This is actually an active methylene group. We know that in case of active methylene group, if you consider, means what do I mean, that this is one X and another proton, they prefer to undergo keto-enol tautomerism. What do I mean? COH double bond, this is X, this is OR. Why? Because it is stabilized by hydrogen bonding keto-enol tautomerism. So that is the reason why this reaction is advantageous. See, if you increase the reaction temperature to little high extent, means if you increase the reaction temperature, then increasing temperature, probability of this tautomerization will increase, and this tautomerization, this is actually, this center is actually sp2 hybridized. So after that, proton have equal probability to be joined on either top or bottom. So you will get almost racemic mixture, and that is the problem. So if you want to have enantioselectivity at this position, then this reaction is advantageous for you. So that is another beauty of this reaction while you are dealing with active methylene compounds, because there are other methods like Claisen condensation I have described previously. So Claisen ester condensation, you can very easily prepare 1,3-dicarbonyl compound. Then question, why you read this Roskamp reaction? What is the need of this reaction? The need is because of this enantioselectivity, and which is maintained because the reaction is carried out this much low temperature under inert condition. Okay. So this is the end of this discussion. I believe you have learned a lot of interesting chemistry. So thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe this channel and please press the bell icon to get the notification of every single video I upload, and like, share, write your comment. Fine, those things please do. Besides that, I have a request to you. If you are capable, please support me through Patreon, because without your support, it's very difficult for me to upload videos for you on a regular basis. So thank you again. Stay happy, stay blessed. See you in my next video. Bye bye.